Hi, my name is Terry Healy, and I would like to welcome you to Microsoft Dynamics GP 2015 new features around the benefit self-service. Today, the video presentation will go over some of the basic functionality of benefit self-service in GP 2015. I will go ahead and start off with a short slide deck, and then I will go into the product and demonstrate some of the features of benefit self-service. Before we get into the prerequisites, a few things I would like to highlight around the benefit self-service is it is a completely redesigned product. What I really like about what we did with the product is we took some of the questions and struggles that other customers had when they tried to implement prior, and we brought that all into GP 2015. So some of the things that I wanted to highlight are what customers wanted. We have detailed documentation with this video that I encourage you to review as well that goes into detail about how you deploy and set up benefit self-service. One of the key items is human resources is not required. You can link directly to payroll, where before we required you to have all your benefits and deductions in human resources. Another nice feature that was added is you can add validations to state that you enroll in a plan prior to taking a higher plan. And a good example that we heard from customers in the past around it was for life insurance. Let's say Terry wanted to roll in the higher 50,000 life insurance, but before she could do that, she had to enroll in the lower life insurance plan. So that's just an example. So we can have prerequisites or validations of a prior benefit before we enroll in another benefit. Really cool feature. Easier integration to Microsoft Excel. So a lot of customers wanted to dump their benefit data into Excel, maybe scrub it, review what's coming in, use that to send to the providers as well. And so I will demonstrate today that right off the main navigation pane, we can now dump all our data to Excel very easily and start to report on that. You can separate out your enrollment. So you could have a separate dental, health, vision, and I think that's really good with some of the ACA, Affordable Care Act changes that we're seeing. We have an improved benefit enrollment period, which allows you to roll out employee enrollment to a large group or to single onboarding, which we kind of had before, but what we heard from customers is they may want to leave the 401k open to their employees all the time, but just have the health insurance and the life insurance open during a particular time. You can have multiple plan documents to a benefit, including PDFs and Word documents. So in the prior versions, we allowed one document to be attached to a benefit plan. And what I'll demonstrate today is now you can have 3 to 4 to 5 different documents to the plan so the employee can review it. And they might want to pull up single family, single plus married, all these plans, kind of review that information and have it. You could also use it as a way to link forms that you might want filled out when they're going through the open enrollment. We also have user-defined enrollments, or what we called attributes, which I'll cover. So for example, if there's something specific that you want to track, you would create an attribute for that. So you can use user-defined attributes. You can return a benefit. In the prior version, we could delete it and return it back to Terry if, let's say, she made a mistake. Now we can just re-return what she did. She could make that little change and then submit again instead of deleting out the entire enrollment. So I think that's huge because we all know we have to re-return enrollments or change them after we've submitted. Another thing I heard from customers was notes, or I want to put something out when she goes through open enrollment that says, hey, you can only do this, or whatever kind of note. So when we attach those documents, you can also put notes with that, and that would show to the employee something that you might want to tell them. You may still need to do your guides as we had in the past during open enrollment. As much as it's an easy process, enrollment and benefits and deductions, as we know, can get very difficult. Another thing we heard in the prior version was, I want to sort the list of how they see it in a particular order. And prior, it was just alphanumeric order. So what we allowed now is you can move these deductions up or down and put them in the order you want the employees to see them. And that was very important for a lot of our customers to be able to sort that long list of health insurance codes in the order you want them to see. Doesn't matter on the name. So we added that capability, which I think is huge. And then it's more flexible during the posting process as well. So in the prior version, you had to post and hope that everything went through and not fail. Now you can, I'll show you, you can select a few and post just a few. So that's really nice. It's not a one for all type option in the codes. So those are just a few of the items that I wanted to call out that we really enhance the product based on our customer feedback. So I hope you're as excited as I am to see what we have for GP 2015 Benefit Self-Service. So to go I want to highlight a few slides. There are some prerequisites. As you've seen my self-service demonstration, we have to link our employee to our user. So with the new self-service, all your employees that are going to use self-service need to be a user in Microsoft Dynamics GP. So you'll want to set them up as a user, and then you link your employee to that user. They will want to be a limited user, or now we have come out with the employee self-service user that is a cheaper price for you to purchase for that user. Under your cards, payroll, employee, and then additional information. This is where you link your employee and your user. Employee self-service, of course, would be required because it was in the past and we're using some of those windows as well. You also need advanced human resources or the extended pack. So if you benefit self-service as part of the extended pack. So if you have not purchased that, in order to use benefit self-service, you need advanced human resources and this extended pack. Just to kind of recap, so you're familiar, what is the starter pack that you get for free and what is in the extended pack? So in the starter pack, you get payroll, unlimited employees, you get payroll direct deposit, you get magnetic media, payroll connect, you get HR, unlimited employees, you get the self-service and position control. So that's all in the starter pack, no employee count. And this started in GP 2013 and rolls forward to GP 2015. What is in that extended pack? So in that extended pack, you have advanced human resources, advanced payroll, PTO manager, and benefit self-service. So for everything I am showing you today, you need this extended pack in your registration in order to deploy benefit self-service. This is all now changed as well from GP 2013 and forward, where it's unlimited employee count and the pricing is not based on your employees. So I just want to show you a few slides before we get into the demonstration, but the benefit self-service, I say it's gotten simpler, it's easy, flexible, and redesigned. Those are some keywords that I can say when I demonstrate the benefit self-service of what we're going to see today. This is a view of your navigation list as an administrator, and I just wanted to point out that you can now see under the edit enrollment status, you can return your enrollment or completely remove it. So we give you both options. Here's where we're going to post our enrollment, and you can see I have some data created here where I can be selectable about what I want to post and then post that enrollment. And there's your send to Excel. So we get a lot of different functionality with this information. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to jump over into another machine where I have a couple of installs that I want to point out that I'll be going in and out of. So I'll demonstrate where I'm at in each one. But down here I have, so this company is a blue company, and I'm in as employee Julie. She is a limited or self-service user. So you can see when I go in under cards as that limited user, they're going to have their home page, we call it here, for the self-service, and this is GP 2015. So now Julie can enter time for her pay period. Maybe she wants to view her pay stubs. She can also update her direct deposit. All the self-service is now in GP 2015. So if you are debating on how to upgrade, if you're even thinking of going with self-service, I would go to GP 2015 because you have the full capability of everything you need in GP 2015. With GP 2013, we just released the time card piece. So you get some of that functionality, but everything else is in GP 2015. So this will be your main area for your employees to log into, and they're going to see their tiles and then everything they want to do right here. Update their W-4, profile, skills and training, benefits. They can also get to it from under cards, self-service. So the core self-service product gives you a benefit view. So that's where you can view your benefits. But right down here, when you say benefits view enhanced, that is the benefit self-service and part of the extended pack. So then the benefits view enhanced will show you what you have existing on your benefit records. I also will be jumping back and forth, and I have another install down here with user SA in Company Blue. So if I'm going to show you any setup information, I'm going to be in as user SA because they have full access, or any type of user that had full access, or I'm going to be in as Julie, my limited employee user, and I will point each one out during our demonstration. So some of the terms with benefit self-service are a little hard to grasp. So what I like to do is go through these terms and the setup of the information, and then I will show you how that works as Julie going in and doing open enrollment. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in as user SA. Under the human resources and payroll, I'm going to be under the setup area, and we're just going to look down some of the setup information. So I'm under human resources, benefits and deductions. And you will see we have a lot of new options down here with GP 2015, and they're all related to benefit self-service. So let's go ahead and look at each one. First, I have the benefit attributes. And I'm going to call out some items as I go through this as well. And just to make it simpler, I am comparing a little bit of what we had released in prior products so you understand some of the new functionality and what we've added. So benefit attributes is a new window to GP 2015. We did not have that before. And when you install GP 2015, there will be a lot of what we call system attributes. So the benefit attributes are the smallest building block of a benefit offering and are used to provide information to and collect information from your employees during the enrollment process. So we preloaded all the system ones that we wanted, and then you can see here I've added a Stay Fit credit. So for example, at Microsoft, at a typical Microsoft campus, you have a gym on campus. We don't in Fargo. So we get a Stay Fit credit option, and I wanted to track that in my open enrollment. So I went ahead and added that attribute because it wasn't really part of anything in GP that we were tracking. So I added this Stay Fit credit. You can see it says user defined. You can do type yes, no. If I clear that, for these user defined options, you can do currency, dates, numbers, percents, yes, no. You can create a drop-down list. So if there are some things you want to capture during open enrollment from your employees and there really isn't a field for it, this is where you would set up these attributes. The attributes are not required. I mean, the system ones are that we will load for you, but otherwise you don't have to set them up. They are new, and it gives you more capability in the system if you do for some of those things that are not in there. Next is our plan options. Plan options are the actual enrollment choices presented to an employee during the enrollment. These are used for defining your enrollment categories for a specific benefit. Employee versus whole family, 401k versus your 457. So if I go ahead and look at some of my options here, I've added a lot, but I removed some of them, so it kind of looks a little overwhelming right now. But you can see I have single, my married, so all the options you want your employees to choose from, single, married, family, out of any plan, you would want to create a plan option. Then we're going to go and package those up and put them together. So any type of plan option you want to provide to them, whatever that is, you need to create these plan options. Plan options are new in GP 2015. And we made, how I think about it is we made it a little granular so we can package them up better. So that's why we added these plan options. Next is your plan benefits. So I'd say this is going to be your, meat of setting up. This is going to be all your plan benefits that you are going to deploy to your employees. So I have health set up. That's just my main one for now, and I'm going very simplistic here for demonstration purposes. So I set up a plan benefit health called health. You can see down here those option codes I just covered, the single, spouse, and whole family. Those are the ones I have pulled into this health option. This is, again, the main window for defining your benefits, whose options employees will select for open enrollment. The plan, benefit, and our individual options can be linked to your system HR, which you can see I'm linking mine to my HR codes. If HR is not being used, they can be linked directly to payroll benefit deduction codes as well. But in my demonstration, I'm linking them to human resources. So for every option I wanted, I'm going to group them up into the plan benefits. So when Terry goes through open enrollment, she's going to see health, but she's going to choose single, spouse, or whole family. I have selection required, so that means Terry cannot leave the window without selecting one of these. And I made it a single select. So a single select says you can only choose one, not single and spouse. If I choose all three, it'll err on me and say you can only choose one. When I choose single and I post my open enrollment, if you look in the back office, it'll say enrolled for single and waived for spouse and whole family. So we are requiring them to choose one. And always remember that what I don't choose, or if I don't want them to choose anything, they will come in as waived. So then you're tracking your employees. So you can really track, I offered them that coverage and they chose not to take it. So I think that's a good tracking tool as well. A multiple select, which I won't demonstrate today, but that would be if maybe I use it a lot on flexible spending or flex or a miscellaneous type code where I might say I would group in my child flex spending, my medical flex spending, maybe my charitable donations, and for each one I have to say enroll or waive, each one. So that's a multiple select compared to my single select. I'm saying out of these three, you pick one. So that's the differences there. I also want to show you right up here in my notes icon. If I click on that here, I typed in a note to an employee during open enrollment. So that's where you can type in those notes where the employees will see it when they go through open enrollment. Also down here, if I click on the icon, here's where you're going to attach any type of documentation you want them to see when they go through open enrollment. So you can see this is all just garbage attachments, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things attached when we go through open enrollment. You can have multiples. So that's new to GP 2015. So I wanted to point that out. I've already had some questions about, well, what happens if let's just say I'm a part-timer going through open enrollment. Will I see attachments from maybe full-time? Well, no, because your part-time employees probably would not be assigned this health code. They're going to be assigned their own code, and whatever you have attached to that code, that's what they're going to see. So when we get into eligibility, only the employees that you want them to get benefits to is what they will get. So not every employee will see the same type of benefits and the same benefit plans. If we click on the benefit rights tab, and we've had that in the past, and that gives you all the fields that we're showing in the system and our user-defined field, and do we want to view them or edit them? So your rights are really saying, do I want her to just see it during open enrollment? Maybe I don't even want her to see it. Or it's too confusing, I don't want them to view it. Or do I want them to edit it? So that's where you go for your benefit rights, is where you can validate maximums, individual documents, and really what you want to change in here. You can see we've changed it up a little bit where we can say, here's my HR fields. I can drill down to the different types, my payroll fields, and then my user defined. So cutting down the list a lot in here as well. That's your benefit rights. And then your validations, this is where you would key in if I had a prerequisite, like the life insurance one had to be chosen before I choose life insurance 2. You would put any type of validations or prerequisites you want on your plan during there. So we went through the plan benefits and we got all those set up. Now we're going to look at packages. So the benefit packages, and we had this prior, so this term is not new if you knew benefit self-service, but the benefit packages page is where where benefit packages and default settings can be created to use in the employee eligibility rules. For example, you would take your miscellaneous packages like Charity, Flex, Savings, United Way, and put them together in a package. You could take your health package and create major medical, vision, dental. You could do a retirement package. You want to package it up. So, and you name these whatever you want. This is just my example. I created full and part-time. But if I look at my full-time, I just put in my health benefit plan. So you can package these up however you want them displayed to your employee. There's one more thing that's really important. I wanted to go back to the plan benefits that I didn't show you. If I pull up that health again, as you get more options, and through the years I've seen some really crazy options with health insurance coverage, but like for example, they may have, I kind of had it set up there, single A, single B, single C, single D, 4 different single options for them to choose from. Look at here how I can click on spouse and arrow up. So you can move these around to how you want them displayed in the window. So it's really nice that's where that moving up and down can be used when you have multiple things. How do I want them displayed to the employee? I can move them up and down. So I just wanted to call out those arrow buttons there. I didn't change mine, but I wanted to show you where they're at. So you know that is, even though it's alphanumeric or how I entered them, you can change how they show to the employee. So we created our benefit plans, we packaged them up, and the next thing is the eligibility rules. So this is really where we determine who gets what package or benefit plan, because we all know that part-timers or hourly employees will not get the same benefit package plan as a manager. Again, I created these. You could create terms as full-time, part-time. I created a manager eligibility rule. Eligibility rules we had in prior benefit self-service. So again, it should be a term you know if you're familiar with that product. But what the eligibility does is allows you to say who gets what plan. Now, who wants to assign 500 people a plan? No one wants to do that. So what's really cool about eligibility is the system tries to do it for you, and we can still override it. So we can say, what I really like is, so I just did work hours per year. Anyone who has 2080 work hours per year, give them that health plan. Of course we wouldn't do that, but I just like to be simple. But look you can say anyone in department admin gets this plan. Anyone in the position gets this plan. We have classes. A lot of people classify their employees by classes. You can say whatever class gets this eligibility plan. We added more options in here for you to classify. Employment type, location, secondary status, that was new, division, HR status. So a lot of different options for you to say who gets what eligibility group. Here's a common mistake about this window is you might say, come in here and say, okay, for Department A, they get health. If they're in position clerk, they get health. If they're employee class, accounting, they get the health. You might go through and mark let's say 3 or 4. What ends up happening is nothing gets assigned because you made it so restrictive that it doesn't know. I mean, because the employee, you don't have any employees that are in this department and meet this position and meet this class. It's and, not or, it's and. So I mean, if you start putting a bunch of these in here, then it doesn't assign anything, and you'll wonder why. And that's a common case we get in support. So just be careful with that don't make it too restrictive. Pick one item maybe or 2 and assign it out that way. And then under utilities, you can always override. So you can see who gets what, and then you can change it as well. Or maybe Terry got a raise and jumped to a manager level, and she was on an hourly schedule. You can go in there and change that up as well. So always know you can override. Don't be too restrictive with your eligibility, and let that assign and then change them as necessary. All right, so I think we're getting down there. Next would be enrollments. So let's look at the enrollments, and that just changed a little bit. So we have employee enrollment and annual open enrollment. We've had that before, but we're giving you more options. So this would be, if you're doing your annual open enrollment, maybe you just open that up for a month or 2 months. You can choose your dates, start and end dates. You can do this by plans. So again, if you want to keep your 401k open all year, but your health insurance can't be open all year, then you can do that. Then this is also where you would do just employee onboarding throughout the year. If you have an employee, Julie, that starts during the middle of the year, you obviously don't want to open it up to everyone. You just want to open it up to Julie. So this is the benefit enrollment setup window where you would open up links to your employees to go enroll. All right, so that kind of covers the setup. Let's go in, and I just want to show you a couple more areas. Let's go in under Julie now. So she's an employee. I do have her assigned to that health area. So I'm going to go in under HR and payroll. And so you can see she's got a couple items on her navigation list. If I click on the administrator benefit enrollment, it says you don't have privileges to open this window. So Julie is just an employee, and so she doesn't have access to open that. So I wanted to point that out. But if I go in under benefits enrollment, so this is where you would want to guide your employees to go through open enrollment. And you will see I got my open enrollment here. It's got its start date, end date. It is open. And if I click up in here, we have the submit button. I can go to modify and enroll. I can view information. And that printer icon, that will be for what we called our confirmation statements in the prior version. Then we added that in GP 2013, because a lot of times what we heard from customers was, Julie goes through open enrollment, she then wants to print it and bring it home, and we didn't have any printing capability. So right up in here would be that printing capability. If I double click on it, the information will start to pop up for her to do open enrollment. If you remember with the prior benefit self-service, we had what we called a wizard. And so we changed this up a little bit where we don't have a wizard, and you will see some color coding in here to try to tell the employee what they have left for their open enrollment. So you can see that some of my information is complete, not all of it. So I have down here you can put in your dependents and your beneficiaries, which I think will be key as well for ACA, Affordable Care Act. So if you're really looking to make your benefits more robust and having that more employee self-service role, benefit self-service will be a key for that, and self-service in general, because your employees can fill out all this information and submit it, saving time for the human resources and payroll team. So I wanted to, again, here's my 3 options. I have enroll or waive. I can only select one of them. If I click on the plan options button, here's that note to the employee. So when you go through your training guides or whatever you do with your employees, you'll want to make sure to tell them, click on that notes icon. Then here's all my attachments. You can see I have PDFs. I'll click on that 90, that really old one, 90 SB4 guide. You can see that opens up. So they'll be able to open up any of their guides here, look at any of their notes. We have the start date, the end date, the effective information. Pretty much it's all similar, giving you a little bit detail as well. So that's what Julie would go through, and I'll go ahead. I think I can submit. Are you sure you want to submit? It'll come up with this, and then I submit my enrollment. Now, if I had any errors or if I had picked all 3, it would then start to validate during that submit. By submitting is where it's going through a lot of those validations that you have set up. If I refresh up here, I hope it says submitted. So I went up and I refreshed, and now I've submitted. So let's go in. Once I've submitted, I cannot change it again. I can save, go home, think about it, and then come back and submit. But once I've submitted, I cannot go back and submit again. So now I'm in as SA. SA is the administrator of my benefit plan. Let's go down under here, and you can see that SA user, the power user, whoever the administrator is, if I click on all, he's going to see his benefits. that he can start to administer. I really like this view. I apologize for my XML errors down there. That's just my install. So you can see here that I have all my employees. I have some demi data in here. What's nice is we put the most related data that we thought you would like to see up in here, and you can dump this to Excel. So their package description, their package code, their enrollment status. This is key. People want to know, I mean, out of my 500 employees, who has not enrolled? You can do restrictions from add filters in here and really give you very quickly how many people have not started. Wow, I have quite a few that haven't even started enrollment. But I got one that's selected down here, and oh, I got one person, Julie, that's submitted. So that's key. When you're going through your month of open enrollment, people want to know, how is it going? How many? And here with this filter and dumping to Excel, you can easily see who's left to enroll, where is the slowdown, is it a specific department or area in your organization. So if I go ahead down here to my submitted one, and I choose that, so you can say edit enrollment. So this is where I could return it back to Julie. So if Julie called me and said, return that back to me, you could do it through here or remove it completely and it'll open it back up to her. This is where I would post into the back office, and this is sending to Excel, and then we have some printing as well. So I really like this new view, and it gives you some more capability, and I could send to Excel, and I'll probably just send her data there as what I have marked, but it opens up Excel, and you'd probably dump it all, and then you could do different things with Excel in here too. So that's kind of the view between your employee to the admin, giving you the navigation list options. And there's a lot more, but I'm really just covering the basics today in the demonstration, and hope that that will give you a starting period of what you can do with your benefit self-service. As I said in my blog that's linked with this video, there is a detailed documentation around benefit self-service, and it gets into all the detail of all the windows that we covered today and how you can set them up. And it has a nice section in there about what you need to set up to deploy benefit self-service as well. So I want to thank you for attending the benefit self-service session today, and good luck with deploying it with GP 2015. Thank you.